Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and before we get started, we'll need to take a look at our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and do just that here. So let's go ahead and load that up. All right, so give a little bit of time to load. Hopefully this is visible to everyone. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader. Okay, excellent, Faye. Thank you so much. That the content is being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice. And offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any future instrument, security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we're going to turn our attention to the news and see what news we have in store today that has the potential of impacting the markets. So let's go ahead and do just that. So relatively light in news today. We have a couple of members. Actually, we have a briefing. We have Fed member Bowman speaking, or has already spoken. And then at noon, we have a White House press briefing with the press secretary. And that's pretty much it. So as far as news goes, actually, sorry, I think I might have the wrong date. Let's see, double check. No, that's the right date. As far as news goes, we're relatively light. Now, we are coming into, good morning, Aslan. We are coming into some more important news. We have some news tomorrow that could shake up the markets. We have ADP employment. We have U.S. Treasury. We have ISMs reporting tomorrow. And then later in the week, we have some inflationary numbers coming in on Friday from Michigan. And yeah, the Fed also expressing some opinion on inflation and consumer credit. So again, relatively light in the way of news. Looks like we've gotten past most of the earnings. Okay, that could impact the markets. We do have EIA crude oil report, which often kind of shakes up the crude oil market. So nothing in the way of news that could anticipate that could impact the markets here. All right, so let's go ahead now and turn our attention to the trading platform and see what context that we can glean from the markets here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do just that. Let's see if I can locate my screen here, and we'll try to. There it is. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. We have a chart of silver up, which we're going to change here in a moment. Looking at chart was one of the final requests I had in the group coaching yesterday. So we'll go ahead and move on to the gold market here. All right, looking at the gold market, and again, starting off with the daily chart. Again, just trying to get a sense of kind of what direction does this market want to go. Okay, so of late, we've been in some sort of range, and an otherwise kind of bearish market, to be honest. Okay, so we've had a relatively strong bearish engulfing candle, followed by a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, now we haven't made any official lower low, right? So 39,900 technically is our 38.99 is technically the lowest low that we've been in this market. But nonetheless, we see that price remains below our 9 EMA, which is kind of a sentiment indicator that we're using. And then I have a line drawn here at 4040. Okay, now 4040 yesterday served as a very nice location for reversal in price. Hey, Sunil, nice reversal in price. And so the question now becomes: is 4040 going to continue to serve as an area for price to maybe provide us maybe a continuation move here to the downside? Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, so looking at the 4-hour chart, again, you can see that we've been in some sort of range of late. You can see that 4040 continues to serve as an area of some resistance here. Okay, we are creating not just one top, two top, three reversals that have come from this area. Now, assuming that we can get above this level, 4040 could serve as a nice location, right, to support us and maybe a continuation trade to the upside. But we need to get above 4040 first, right? So right now you can see that we are in a little bit of bearish structure here to the downside, right? You can see that we had a little bit of move to the downside. We're creating some lower lows and lower highs, and while for now we've been somewhat in some sort of range, right? I would say, I'll continue to say, inside still some bearish structure on the shorter time frame. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Let's see what we can gather from the 30-minute chart. So you can see that 4040 level kind of exhibit itself here multiple times. We came up to this level not just once but twice, and now we're kind of reacting away from it a third time. Okay, now we are at a level, I think 4,000 I think is one of these levels that is relatively important in this market. If we do manage to close below 4,000, then I don't see any reason why we don't come back down to revisit 3980. Okay, so we're at a kind of, I would say, an important kind of area in this market. Let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. So yesterday being Monday. Okay, just want to make sure I get out of replay mode. Okay, so that kind of give us some more evidence here. Okay, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's take a look and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and drag this across. Okay, so you can see that price is below value. Okay, so again, an indication that there are participants who are willing to pay a premium, right? We're outside of value, willing to pay a premium to be part of this market to the short side. Okay, so again, this line here, in addition to this 4040 line that we've drawn, this being value area low, look how nicely price came, extended the range, extended this value range, came back, retested 4012, 40, let's see, yeah, about 4012.6, and we've reversed away from it. Okay, so again, this is another area that serves as a logical location for potential reversal in price. I'm going to keep it as blue to indicate that this is some sort of value range. Okay, a value range for a prior day. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at initial balance here. I'd like to see, kind of what price has done across the various markets, what participants have been able to do with this market across the various markets here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with Asia. We'll take a look at Asia here. So Asia was pretty much range, although we got I would say a late failed auction to the downside, right? We extended to the downside, got to the 50% extension, and we rallied and rotated all the way back to the other side of the initial balance range. Okay, so that made for a nice failed auction trade. Now, looking at London, in a similar vein, also offered us an extension, right? So while Asia offered an extension lower and rallied, London seems to be intent on taking this market lower. Okay. Now, again, this 200% extension, as you guys know by now, offers us good locations for possibilities of reversal in price. I'm going to take a look at the ADR. Okay. Again, ADR down below this 3960 level is another location. So if I'm bullish on this market, all right, if I remain bullish on this market, or if I'm looking for bullish trades in an otherwise rangy market, this location here around 3980 does appear to be a nice logical location. 3960, another logical location. Okay. So these are my I guess as I coin them, my lazy lion levels. Okay. These are my lazy lion levels where I'd like to participate in the market, right? I don't want to participate in the middle of ranges. I'd like to participate in the extremes of ranges, whether it's a continuation trade or whether it's some sort of reversal trade. Those are the areas. These are the lazy lion levels that I want to be a part of. Okay. So again, right now it appears that we are in some sort of, I guess right now, range, right? We are in some sort of rangy market, right? We've established the highs here at 4,012. The lows are 3980, and we could continue in this range, right? So if I'm going to participate in this market, then I need to have some sort of evidence of which direction they want to take this market. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and open up the range, the current range for the current session here. So we have an established range here. Okay, so this area right here, again, we need to be cognizant of maybe the possibility of a failed auction to the downside here. Okay. We could easily come back down, revisit the lows of the Asia session, and maybe be aligned with Asia and offer us maybe a location for price to reverse from that location. Okay. Because right now we seem to be in the bearish leg of this market. And we're not, I wouldn't say that we're necessarily moving in that bearish direction with a lot of vigor, right? There seems to be, quite a bit of interest here to the buy side. Again, we have a volume delta bar that indicates that we're getting more sellers than buyers, but I'm not really overly impressed with sort of the indecisive candle that we're currently producing. But nonetheless, okay, as we enter this market, I would say we would be range to bearish. I've identified a couple of levels where I would be interested to the buy side to participate in this market, okay? But the focus needs to be on the extremes of the market, all right? So that's pretty much what I have for the gold market. I was going to maybe open up the visible range, but I think we'll probably be inside some value range. That's not the visible range I wanted. I was going to open up the dynamic visible range. Visible range. There you go. I was going to kind of get a sense of where. Let's go ahead and modify this. I like to draw my value ranges in a single color, guys. I'm really not all that interested in the value. Oh, that's not here. So let's color that in gray. And then what I'm interested is in the value range, right? So some in the middle. Okay. And that's kind of my area. And then 70% is fine. Okay. So again, this provides us yet another area, right, based on the visible range of where we could maybe potentially look for a continuation or a reversal in price, right? So if we are to rally, maybe the area, value area low from the visible range could offer us maybe an extension to the downside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market, although crude oil market, again, seems to fall into kind of a little bit of doldrums here. Let's go ahead and move to the daily. Let's see what the daily is. Again, looking at the daily, guys, again, we are seeing, again, continued evidence that they want to take this market lower. Okay. I'm not really seeing all that much evidence of late that would indicate to me otherwise here. Okay. So I'm just going to turn off the ADR levels and turn this off here for a minute. Okay. So you can see that we have a market that is continuing to slope lower, right? Okay. The general direction is to the downside. We have developed of late, a little bit of bullish price action, right? We had a little bit of a gap up, but they haven't been able to make much strides. They haven't been able to break above 62.50, without finding some sellers. Okay. And if anything, it appears that they found maybe established an area of some resistance here, right? We had a push away and now a secondary push away around this, I don't know, I want to call it maybe 61 level, 6160, 6150. So we'll go ahead and mark this area as in red. Okay. So this area does appear to be some sort of resistance zone. Okay. In this market. Now, if we are going to continue in this vein to the downside, we need to break below 60. Okay. If we can't break below 60, then this could remain in some sort of range, right? So it's 61 or up to as high of 6250, right? Would create a new high, and that would give us an indication that maybe the market is looking to head higher. Or we have 60 on the lower end. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Let's see what kind of information we can pull. So we're kind of zooming in on these daily candles. Again, you can see the structure that we're seeing here. We got to move to the downside, right? And now we attempted to take the market higher. That has been met with some sellers, and we are on the lower end of the market, not really being given any indication that we found anybody on the buy side as of yet. Okay, but I would expect that we could have some buyers potentially lurking below here. Okay, there's certainly the potential of having some buyers down below here. Why? Because we have evidence that market reacted away from these areas. Okay, so we're in kind of a relatively tight range at the moment, right? 60 on the downside, 6160 or 6150 on the upper side. So until we break above or below these levels, we have to expect that we're going to get some sort of range kind of price action. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay. And let's see what the market participants were able to do with this market. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, maybe remove some of my remnants here of some prior analysis that I did on this market here. So let's remove that and remove this here. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up the fixed range volume profile. I want to see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. And so I'll go ahead and draw that in. Okay. So there it is. Again, similar to the gold market, we see that there are market participants after yesterday's session that are very open to the idea of paying a premium to take the market lower. Okay. So there's a fair amount of interest here to the downside in the crude oil market. Taking a look at the initial balance range. Okay. I like to look at the initial balance range across the various markets to kind of give me a sense of, where these participants want to take these markets. All right. So we start off with Tokyo or Asia. Okay. So Asia created a very nice, this made for a very nice sustained move here, right? We got a nice little extension, right? A nice little extension here. Let's see if I can get my arrow here. Where's my arrow? Okay. So we got a nice little extension to the downside. We got a reaction and probably maybe baited some folks to maybe step in on a failed auction side, only to be met with some more sellers. We got a secondary break of the initial balance range, a retest, and down goes Fraser for, a very nice, I don't know, this is like a 500% extension of the initial balance range for Asia. Okay. Made for a very nice extension trade. Right now, if we're looking at the London market, London appears to be on the same page with Asia. Maybe not yet. Okay, they established a relatively wide initial balance range. Okay, and now they're kind of poking below or trying to poke below here the 60 level here. Okay, so London also a little bit on the bearish side. You can see that. This is my VWAP, kind of a color coordinated VWAP here. Okay. Anytime price is below it draws this VWAP in red, and now we're below the 9 EMA. So again, I would say has a lot of similar look and feel to gold at the moment, right? I would say that the market headed into the session looks a bit on the bearish side. Now, if I'm going to pick some levels, well, one of the levels that I'm going to be looking for here is this. what do you call it? VWAP. Okay. Uh, all right. Here we are. Okay. So VWAP. So 60-40, right? 60-35 does appear to be maybe again, that's kind of following the line of the VWAP here. Could offer us maybe a location for a reversal in price or a continuation, right? If I extend this line down for a value, right around this 60-71 level, that would be another location where I would maybe look for an opportunity to the downside. These are all, yeah, maybe the 50%, of the you think, yeah, maybe the 50% retracement as well as the extension. Right. So, well, the extension, this could be a target to the upside, right? So, I mean, I have some targets below me, right? 59, ultimately 58.90. These 58.90 would be a very nice level. Okay. Then we have some intermediate long opportunities here, right? We have the 58, was that 58, 59.80, 59.50, and 58.91. These are all logical reversal zones. Okay. All logical reversal zones, right? Or yeah, like as Adlon is kind of suggesting, maybe we get to the 50% extension of this market. Okay. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility at the moment. Okay. We're still about 5 minutes away from the open of the crude oil session. So in the meantime, I'm going to put on my marketing hat and see if I can get maybe a full 100% participation here on hitting the likes and hitting the subscribes, leaving a comment or two on the portal to indicate how this analysis is supporting your analysis of the markets. Okay. Certainly, as Faye would say and others would say, we need to pay our tax. Yes, we need to pay our tax. Okay. The more we pay our tax, the more I can invest. The more I can invest, the more available I can become. Right. So that's kind of how it works, guys. So encourage you guys to hit the likes, hit the subscribes, smash the notification bell, because I'm looking to expand the operation here, guys. But I need to get to, I don't know where I'm hovering right now, but I'm hovering maybe in the low 900s as far as subscribers. I need to get to the 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal. Okay. So talk to your neighbor, talk to your family members, anyone who's interested in maybe learning how to navigate future markets and trade future markets. Let them know about me. Okay. I didn't say good morning. I'm sorry, Simon. My bad, Simon. I was just too occupied with looking at the markets. Good morning, Simon. How are you today? My apologies, Simon. I really did not see you. Okay. I saw good morning, fam, but I failed to respond. My apologies. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at, managed to secure one additional like or two additional likes from that discussion. So that job well done, right? All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay. So yesterday was kind of a first indication that maybe the market wants to head a little bit lower. We closed the day rather neutral, and we're developing yet another stronger. Yes. Yeah, I know you're teasing, Simon. I'm good. All right. I no offense taken. Okay, excellent. All right. So as you can see here, we have a developing bearish candle, and it's not of the weak variety, right? This is not a weak candle that's developing at the moment, but we won't know exactly how this candle closes, right? We won't know exactly how this candle closes until the end of the day, right? Now, technically, right? Technically, we still remain, right? If I draw my little channel, right, we still remain in a bullish channel to the upside. Okay, so we could have a bullish candle that goes all the way down to this level here around 25,500 and still be in a bullish market. Okay, so again, while we are starting to see some signs, all this activity is happening when inside a bullish channel to the upside. Now, is it significant to get a daily to close below a range? Absolutely. But in the larger picture, we're still inside a bullish channel. Okay. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here for a moment. Okay. Now we're getting, again, more evidence on the 4-hour that we're in the beginning of creating a little bit of structure here to the downside. But again, I am, as I mentioned on the daily, right? I am aware that I'm still inside a bullish channel. Now we are getting some evidence, no doubt, right? We broke below an area of consolidation here, created a new low, then unable to create a new high, we created a lower high, and then another new low, and then again yet another lower high. Price is below our 9 EMA, below our VWAP. Okay, both giving us indications. Both giving us indications that the market is in some sort of bearish trend. Okay, looking at the 4-hour. All right, looking at the 30-minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the this bearish channel here, or the bullish channel that I drew on the daily. But again, what do we see here? Well, again, we see evidence of bearish price action, not just during the U.S. session, but it carried through into the overnight, right? So if we take a look at this, right, we take a look at the initial, let's say, open up the fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and start with the open of the session all the way to the close of the session here. All right, right about there. Okay, there we have, you can see there, once the session closed and the new session opened, there was a fair amount of interest to the downside in this market, right? Okay, if we open up the various initial balance ranges across the various sessions, looking at Asia to start. Okay, let's take a look at Asia. Okay, Asia offered us a very nice extension to the downside. What more can we ask for, right? We got a push to the downside, a retest initial balance low, and down goes Fraser, right? Look how nicely price is following the 9 EMA all the way down. Once price gets into a trend, the 9 EMA offers us logical locations to participate. How long can it go? That's a good question, right? Now, the thing that we should be asking is where would I want to participate in this downward session and trend, right? So the idea here is certainly the 9 EMA has offered us as nice locations to participate. Certainly the VWAP right here around 25,810 is another location. You caught a move. You caught a move to the downside in ES earlier. Okay. All right. So again, let's see. Asia. I think this was Asia. Yeah, Asia. All right. Let's take a look at London. What does London provide? Okay, London also kind of indicating to the downside. Maybe a little bit of a failed auction. Okay, to start, right? We got a extension to the downside and rallied and found more sellers. Now we have a secondary entry here, a secondary opportunity, maybe to the bearish side. We are, again, I'm always cognizant of where we are on VWAP, right? We don't get too far extended from VWAP before we need to make some sort of retracement. So again, looks like it's making another attempt at getting below. I don't know what the lows are here. Let's say 25,642. Okay, but nonetheless, again, looks like that we have a fair amount of interest in both Asia. I guess in the tail end of Asia, right? Well, not tail end of Asia. Asia and London are both indicating that they want to take this market to the downside. Now, a level that I'm going to draw on this chart, and again, this is just a level, guys. We need to see evidence. We need to see evidence that the market wants to support it. But this level down below here, 25,600. Okay, this would be, and if we're looking for a spot potentially for price to reverse. I'm not saying reverse and go to the moon. But maybe reverse this current structure, this 200% extension of this London range could offer us maybe a bounce, maybe back to the initial balance low. Okay. That's 200% extension. But we need to see, again, and these kind of trades, we're working against the prevailing trend, right? And the prevailing trend right now is bearish. The best course of action would be to look for areas of strength. As I mentioned earlier, this 25,800 level does appear to be an area where I would want to participate to the downside. Okay. IB low on London, 25,730 could be another logical location for continuation moves to the downside. Okay. And then we also have our VWAPs. We already talked about 9 EMAs kind of trailing. That offers us, again, another logical location for reversal in price. Now, buyers are around, right? Because we are seeing that, that they're not just sitting by the sidelines and just letting the market kind of, have its way here, right? Short, right? So we did get a push to the upside. They just managed to get just to the resistance zone before we found some more sellers. Now the question is, are we going to find more buyers at 25,670? Are we going to find more buyers at 25,670? If not, it's possible that we go down to 25,600 before we find some buyers. Okay. Yeah. Yes, the Asian move was quite early today. Correct. I misspoke. Stock exchanges too. Most went down today. Okay. Lazy Lion for shorts or scalper for correct. Yeah. I think we need to, the longs need to be more of the scalp variety. And I would say the shorts are probably more of the sustained variety. Okay. I think the longs are probably need to be treated as more of the scalp variety. I agree, Faye. Okay. All right. Let's see. If there's anything else that I want to call out on this market. I think we're heading into a market that looks somewhat bearish. We are a little bit extended to the downside, so it would not surprise me in the bit if we were to maybe rally up to VWAP, okay, before we saw any sort of continuation move to the downside, right? So a rally back up to 25,800 is not out of the realm of possibility, right? Before we see any sort of extension, and that would kind of map the pattern here, right? A little bit, okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the ES here and take a look. I know that Aslan took a trade here on ES. I just need to make sure I spell this correctly. ES1. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, there it is. All right, looking at the daily chart. Okay, very similar to what we're seeing on the NASDAQ, right? We filled the gap. Now that gap should have served as a location for price to rally from. On the contrary, we've crushed the gap that was left. We crushed the gap that was left, and it looks like we're looking to make a move lower. Okay, right? Price is working its way below the 9 EMA. We won't know exactly where this is going to go yet, right? We don't know whether this is going to close in this fashion. We are coming into an area here at 6,800. Okay, I would say that is relatively important. Okay, this area right here should serve as some area of support, right? We see that this area was resistant in the past. We crushed it, and now we're back at this level again. So whoever decided to drive price higher, well, we want to see if we are bullish. We want to see if they are still around. Okay, if they're not, then the chances are we're going to maybe make a rotation and kind of revisit some of these levels down below. Okay, so a daily chart, I guess, starting to give us some signs that maybe the market is moving from a market that is bullish to a market that's looking a bit on the bearish side. But again, I'm gonna make that similar comment that I made earlier on the NASDAQ here. Technically, we are still inside a bullish channel, guys. Okay, this is nothing more than just normal kind of price activity. Okay. We're inside a relatively large bullish range. And as long as we stay inside that range, then, we can maybe anticipate maybe a bounce from this level back to the highs. That's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we need to see a break below this channel. Yeah, Trump didn't tweet, right? We need to see a break below the channel, and then maybe but we won't see that for another few days, right? right? So yeah, maybe this market is just a pure market move here. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, we're always at the mercy of some sort of market tweet that the market could take in the wrong way that could cause the market even to fall further. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart also, again, you can see that we're starting to see some bearish price action. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here. Okay, we're going to turn this off here for a moment. All right, and again, you can see that price is well below our 9 EMA, below our VWAP. Looks like we got a little bit of reaction here away from the 6,800 level, but that was meager in comparison, because looks like they just taken that and said, okay, thank you for clearing the path for me to head lower. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like to me, right? We made an attempt. We got a little reverse hammer candle, right? But we did not get an equivalent candle to create a 3-bar reversal pattern, right? So right now we seem to continue. We seem to be intent on continuing to the downside. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to remove some of my drawings here, guys. Okay, just to get a kind of a clear picture of what's going on here. So again, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to compare price to what we see here. All right, so here we are. We're below value. People are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market to the downside. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up the volume low end of value here as a destination, as a lazy lion level for a continuation move to the downside. I know that's well above the market. Okay, but that would be a location that I would look at maybe for a possibility. I don't know if we are in the beginning stages of maybe creating a little bit of a demand zone here. It looks like there is some interest here to the downside or to the upside. If we are going to entertain that, well, we need to get price above VWAP. Okay, and then maybe there's a possibility that the U.S. session rotates all this downside move that we've been seeing in the overnight. That's certainly a possibility, right? Can't rule that out. Right? But we need to break above VWAP, right? We need to get above this VWAP to support that move. Otherwise, if we can't get above VWAP, then VWAP is going to serve as a nice location for price to continue to the downside, right? So a couple of locations here to the downside. Let's open up our initial balance here. Let's see where I think I know the answer, obviously, to this question. Asia, it looks like, was able to take this market lower. We'll go ahead and look at Asia here real quick. Open this up here. So Asia offered us a very nice extension to the downside very early in the Asia session, right? Nice extension, retrace back up to the initial balance low, and down we go. Okay. Some of the folks that were in shorts are probably getting out of their shorts, right? Here, right around this time here, they're probably getting out of some of the short trades that they were in. Okay. And now maybe potentially considering a long trade. Okay. Possibilities, right? If we can't make a new low, if we can't get below 67.90, right? Then maybe there's some momentum being built here for an upside move in this market. All right. Right now we are in some sort of bearish channel. Price is below our VWAP. So until we break those two levels, break our channel and get above VWAP, then I have to continue to look to the bearish side. Okay. But I am starting to see that maybe we are creating a little bit of a demand zone down below here. Okay. All right. Whew. A lot of talking, guys. All right. Let's take a look here at the Dow. All right. Looking at the Dow, let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, maybe you want to bail out at the 200%. Should pull channel until it breaks. Correct. Okay. All right. So Dow also giving us indications that it wants to head lower. Very, very aligned. Looks very aligned to what we're seeing in the ES, right? ES also giving us filled the gap. Now we're kind of retesting or kind of testing the conviction of some of these buyers. Again, we are in some sort of we remain in some sort of bullish channel, right? Now the question is this channel going to hold? Right, and offer us an opportunity for another leg higher, or again, is price going to maybe head below, retest the same bullish channel and head lower. Okay, that's something that we need to be wary of. Looking at the 4-hour chart, again, we're at the low end of that channel that I drew on the daily. Okay, we're going to turn off initial balance here for a moment because I don't need it. All right, now again, is this lower end? I probably would draw this a little bit differently if I were looking at this on the 4-hour side, but nonetheless, these are daily levels that we drew, and we are starting to see maybe the beginnings of maybe a 3-bar reversal pattern that's getting developing here, right? Kind of a rejection candle here to the downside, and we're developing a bullish candle here. So does that mean we're going to maybe offer an opportunity that would take us back to the 9 EMA, maybe back to 47,600? Okay, that's certainly a possible, right? Or maybe so 47,600 does appear to be a level of importance, right? We broke that level to the downside, and let's turn this off here because it's bothering me. All right, so let's go ahead and draw a line here. Okay, so this line here does appear to be a resistance line for me. All right, so this area right here could serve as a location. If I'm looking to participate, if I'm looking to sell strength, then this would be a logical level to sell some of that strength. Okay, again, another lazy lion level. All right, this would be another lazy lion level for me to look for a short. Okay, if I'm so inclined, I'm at a level now, right, that could offer me maybe an opportunity for price to move, but it would have to be treated as a scalp because we are in some sort of bearish structure here at the moment. All right. So looking at the 30-minute chart, we're up against VWAP. We're starting to see. Let's remove some of these drawings here. We're starting to see that our 9 EMA is starting to curl higher. We're seeing that price broke above our 9 EMA, and now potentially our 9 EMA. My line that I drew could be a shoulder. Okay, on the 4-hour, possible. So right now we're seeing that price is trying to attempt to maybe move higher here, right? We had a reversal. We got price above our 9 EMA, and now we're hovering around the 9 EMA. We're going to take a look at the fixed range volume profile here and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. And there we have it. Drag that across. Okay. All right. So again, we're relatively extended here to the downside. Again, the lower end of value, this 47,400, will serve as an area, a location for me to entertain opportunities to the downside in this market. Okay, that would be a logical level for price to potentially reverse. Okay, right. Right now, it seems to be intent on maybe the possibility of maybe repairing some of these gaps that we see in the volume profile. Okay. And it seems like maybe it wants to maybe revisit this area. Okay, that's one hypo. The next hypo could be that we hold VWAP and that this offers us an extension to the downside. That's also another possibility. Okay, let's take a look at the initial balance here across the various markets here and see what they have to offer. So let's see, that's Asia. Okay, so Asia offered us a nice extension to the downside. London, not as much. Okay, if anything, it's kind of rallied, right? It rallied and got above their initial balance range and holding above our initial balance high. So maybe there's a case to be made here, right, for maybe a continuation move to the upside in this market. Assuming that we can stay above the initial balance high, then that might play out. Now, if we get price to close back inside initial balance, then maybe this first hypo that I have down below will play out. Okay. So right now we're kind of at an interesting juncture. We have a lot of Asia shorts, and we're starting to see maybe some buyers that have kind of stepped in the London market. All right. So now the question becomes, do we hold? Let's see, 47,161. Do we hold above 47,161, or do we eventually capitulate here and the market heads lower? Okay. The longer we stay here without making a new high, the greater the chance that we have of capitulating. Okay. If the sellers smell that they don't have the participants to drive for price or make a new high, then they're gonna get aggressive and they're gonna take the market lower. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Again, similar to I would say that probably the Dow is looking probably the most bullish of the three markets. It's still very much in bearish structure. It'll be interesting to see exactly how we kind of react away or above the VWAP. But I need some more evidence here to really indicate to me that they do indeed want to take this market higher. Okay, we are very much in bearish structure, and I need to see maybe a little bit more evidence that they want to move higher here. Okay. All right, let's do one final pass across the various markets. Okay, let's take a peek here. All right, so looks like gold reached the level that we care about. Okay, in this market. So the question now becomes: Are we going to get a reversal bar here? We haven't yet, right? 15-minute, not getting the 3-bar reversal pattern. So I don't know. Is this continue to the downside? If so, then our next logical level is 39.60. Right now, I'm not seeing much evidence outside of this hammer candle, but this may have just cleared the path for some more aggressive selling here. So I need to see some sort of beginnings or developing of some sort of 3-bar reversal pattern. If I'm going to entertain a long, I'm at a level of interest. I need to see price action to indicate to me that is indeed in the cards, right? So I need to see price break above this bearish channel to entertain a long, okay? Otherwise, I still remain in some sort of bearish structure, bearish to range in this market. Crude oil also looking to, it looks like it's reacting, okay, to the bottom here. All right, the 60 level has found some buyers. All right, so looks like some participants have stepped into this market on the open here, and basically are telling people, I'm not entertaining anything below 60, guys. You had your fun. 60 is the bottom line here. I'm not allowing price to get below 60. Okay, so we had a nice reversal candle, and now another follow through candle that's developing. So market is maybe on the shorter time frames, maybe giving us some indications that they want to take this higher. I'm going to repeat again that the 61, 60, 80 level is an important level for this move. Okay, maybe back to the highs of the initial balance range that's been established here in the London side. Okay, so I don't see it out of the question here of getting at the 60, 62. I feel like I'm a little bit late to the party here now that we've gotten this move and now we have this developing. So I'm going to need to wait for some sort of indication here, maybe some sort of pullback, maybe back to some level like 60-30, 60-25. Maybe that would offer me an opportunity maybe for an upside trade here. Okay, I'm going to open up the initial balance range here for the crude oil. Okay, maybe gold follows suit. I'm not sure. Okay, but look, we did get a response here on the open. Okay, right now is indicating that maybe the market wants to head higher. We've already gotten a 15-minute candle to close on the positive side. There might be more to come here to the upside. Okay, hey Ali. All right, let's go ahead and take a one final pass across the equity markets. So equities again, we're kind of consolidating here at the bottom. Maybe a reverse head and shoulder pattern is developing here. I don't know if you guys see that, but I see a head here. I see an inverted head and shoulder pattern. I see a right shoulder here, and I see a left shoulder here, right? Depending on your orientation here. Okay, so I don't know. This could offer us. Right, something along these kind of lines, right? So that being maybe serving as kind of the neckline. We break above that, maybe it offers us maybe a bullish opportunity in the Nasdaq today. Looking at the ES, let's see if we have that same. Yeah, we have the same look and feel. right? That same head and shoulder pattern, reverse head and shoulder pattern. Is this going to offer us maybe a repair day today, or repair some of the overnight shorts that we have in this market, right? That's possible, right? I'd like to see price get above VWAP to really kind of embrace that. We're seeing that price is hovering in and out of the 9 EMA. We're seeing that price is unable to get below this demand zone that's being created here. And then ultimately the Dow also probably giving us a little bit, not quite the same head and shoulder pattern, but we are hovering around the 9 EMA and maybe providing us some opportunities here. Okay. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys. I'm going to kind of take a peek here at the gold market. Gold market does appear to maybe it's has some momentum, more of a all right. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. Maybe take one last peek of the silver. I don't know if I have Michael in the room, but also looks like is responding off of a level similar to crude oil. Okay. Also appears to be in some sort of bearish kind of action, maybe a little bit more range. So I don't know. You could pick which commodity you want to trade. Seeing a lot more in the way of overlapping prices in the silver of late, which could make it difficult to find a direction. But we are, either in some sort of range or maybe maybe looking maybe for a bullish swing of that range. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. So as we kind of wind down the session here, guys, again, encourage you to, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment or two indicating to me and others that this analysis is indeed supporting you and your ability to navigate the markets. Again, I am making a very strong push here to try to get to 1,000 subscribers here. We're hovering around, I think, around 930 or so. You're welcome, John. Excellent review. Gonna take a night off. Lazy lion, well fed today. Yeah, that makes sense, Aslan. There's no need to feed the lion every day, right? we're even talking in lion speak, right? All right. So excellent, guys. So again, as we wind down and close this session, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment or two on the portal indicating to folks that this analysis is indeed supporting you in your evaluation of the markets. And as always, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Excellent. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon. Have a good day, Simon. If you've already left, Simon, are you still around? Have an excellent day, Simon. Just want to make sure I call Simon out. I might have hurt his feelings not saying hello earlier. He's already left the building. Simon, are you around? All right, guys. Have an excellent day. We'll talk soon.